name's Josh, Director of Coaching at P4S Golf. What we're going to be going through today is our home mobility assessment. So this is one of the best diagnostic tools that you have as a golfer to assess how ready your body is to play your best golf. We've got 4 main rotary centers that are non-negotiables in golf. You need to be able to rotate well in golf. It's a rotary sport. So your neck, your middle back or T-spine, the thoracic spine, your shoulders, and your hips. Those are our 4 rotary centers. They all need to be rotating functionally for you to be able to play your best golf. Now, if those are not rotating as much as they need to, guess what happens? Your body is going to make compensations to make up for a lack of movement or rotation somewhere by maybe leaning to the side or sliding or swaying in your hips or coming over the top. All kinds of compensations are going to happen simply as a result of you not being able to rotate efficiently. So let's get into it. We've got 4 areas to hit. Again, these are non-negotiables. When you're doing this test, be ruthless with yourself. If it's borderline, it's not a pass. Don't give yourself the benefit of the doubt here. Be a tough grader and a marker on yourself. You should easily know if you pass the test or not. And if you don't, then you know what areas you're going to need to work on to improve your golf game. So first area we're going to hit is the neck rotation, okay? Sitting up tall in a chair. All you're going to do is locate the middle of your collarbone. So you're just going to find the collarbone, one end with the thumb, one end with your index finger. You should feel those 2 ends of the collarbone. Halfway down that collarbone, you're going to find the middle of it with your index finger. You should be able to easily rotate your chin over without opening your mouth or lifting your shoulder. Rotate your chin over and touch that collarbone or finger. Should be easily noticeable that you get to that middle collarbone, turn the other way. Chin easily touches. I didn't lift the shoulder up and I didn't open my mouth. So that allows us to, if you can rotate the neck properly, that's going to allow you to keep your head steady and make a full shoulder turn. If you can't rotate the head and neck enough, what's going to happen is you go to make a turn, your neck's going to be restricted. You can't rotate. You're going to start standing up and coming out of posture just to keep your eye on the ball. So really important that we have great neck rotation to keep your head steady and your posture level in the golf swing. Your next test is the trunk rotation test. So most people talk about shoulder turn in golf, right? The shoulder turn. Really all we're doing is rotating your middle section of your spine. It's your thoracic spine. So all I've got set up here is some golf clubs. We're creating an X, okay? Make sure we've got about a right angle or 90-degree angle here, all right? You're going to take another golf club, place it across the shoulders. Now, sitting up tall, make sure your knees stay as close together as possible. If your knees start to separate as you move to the side, that means you're moving your pelvis and lower back as well. So keep those knees pressed together. If you need a yoga block or a towel or something to squeeze between, that's totally fine. But sitting up tall, I've created a 90-degree angle here, and you can see. So if I've got a 90-degree angle, halfway through that angle is 45 degrees. 45 degrees is our minimum passing standard. You should be easily past that. So if I've got this club here, knees together, I stay tall. When I rotate, if I look through the corner of my eye, if this club is parallel to this, that's 45. If it's not quite parallel with this club here, it's less than 45. If it's easily passed, that would be easily passed. That's probably, 50 to 55, maybe close to 60 degrees, okay? That's a pass. So if we're just getting to 45 or not quite, that's a no pass or fail on that trunk rotation test. And we go to the other side. Again, use your peripheral vision here to see if this golf shaft with the knees close together gets past parallel to this shaft here. So there's your 45-degree angles on each side. That tests our trunk rotation. If you do not pass the trunk rotation, or if it feels pretty tight, chances are you're pretty limited in your thoracic mobility. What that's going to do, it's going to limit your ability to turn the trunk and shoulders in your backswing and follow through. You're probably going to compensate by coming out of posture. You might lean to the side when you swing. All kinds of things are going to happen and rob you of your consistency in your golf swing. So that is our second rotary center. The third one we're going to do is the hip rotation. So this is a really important one. Imagine when we're setting up here, okay, that we've got, this is basically parallel to the ground. If you imagine a right angle where my shin is, halfway between here and the right angle is 45 degrees. That's basically what we want to see in hip rotation or internal hip rotation. Now, the best way to diagnose this is to have somebody take a photo of you doing this test and then taking a look at where that angle of your shin is at. You can even edit the photo if you want, pop a ruler in there, and you can actually measure the amount of degrees. But what we should see is that about 45-degree angle of the shin without leaning to the side or bending the knee. We're not going to bend the knee backwards this way. It's going to stay 90 degrees, and we're going to push that shin. I can stay up tall. I can even grab the chair if I want. I'm going to push that straight out to the side without it reaching back. The knee stays in line with your hip, and we rotate it out as much as we can. I can definitely feel that in my hip, okay? So I'm rotating out as far as I can without leaning. I definitely feel that, and then I hover the foot off the floor and rotate the other way. This hip's a little tighter for me, as you can see. I definitely need to work on improving that mobility. That's probably 35, maybe almost 40 degrees, but I'm having to work to get that. And we want about 45 degrees. So I definitely need to work on this a little bit more. What this test is going to allow you to do, if you have 45 degrees of mobility or range of motion, internal rotation in your hip, it's going to allow you to post up on that lead side and get all the way onto your lead side in the downswing. And it's also going to be able to allow you to rotate into that trail hip and load properly into your trail side for a powerful weight shift in your golf swing. Another thing to note, whatever side you golf on, your lead side, so for me, a right-handed golfer, my lead side, if I'm trying to get onto that lead leg and I don't have adequate internal hip rotation, my hips are going to get stuck trying to go through, and I'm probably going to compensate by extending my lower back. So a lack of internal hip rotation in the lead leg is our number one predictor of lower back pain. So again, 45 degrees is your passing standard here without leaning to the side or without kicking your foot back, okay? And if you feel like it's cramping in here, it's definitely a no pass. So there's 3 of our 4 rotary centers. Our last one, we're going to go up to a standing position. Our last test is the shoulder mobility test or external shoulder rotation test. So for this one, you're going to be in your golf posture. From here, it's probably as low as you would get for a wedge, because we want to have good mobility in the shoulder in your lowest posture. So that's going to be about fingertips, even with the tops of the kneecaps. From here, maintain your posture. Bring your elbow straight out from your armpit. So we're not back here, we're not here. Straight out from your armpit height. Keeping your elbow 90 degrees, so we're not bending it this way. We're going to rotate that forearm up towards the sky without your elbow dropping or moving back. So the elbow stays in the same spot. We just rotate up as far as possible without standing up, okay? So maintain spine angle. There's 3 possible outcomes. Your forearm is going to be less than spine angle. You can see my forearm hasn't reached equal to spine angle. We can get equal or parallel to spine angle. Both of those are a no pass. Those are fails on the test. And if you can easily get past spine angle, that is a pass. Okay, so we do that on both sides. Get the elbow straight out from the shoulder. Keeping the elbow in place, rotate up as much as you can. Best to have a spotter on this one. You can use a mirror, but I always find that when I'm looking to the mirror, my posture might change. Have somebody spot you, see if your forearm gets past, equal to, or less than spine angle. And again, you need to get past spine angle easily for it to be a pass. If you don't pass, what's going to happen typically when you're in your golf swing, we want on the trail arm, this shoulder needs to externally rotate. You can see that motion to be able to shallow the club on the downswing and drop it in the slot. If we're not able to do that, guess what's going to happen? You're going to start to come over the top in your swing because that shoulder can't do this. Or you might early extend with your hips to try and shallow the club. So those are some simple compensations that might happen in your golf swing. So that wraps up our home mobility assessment for the 4 main rotary centers. Your neck, T-spine, shoulders, and hips all need to be rotating optimally for you to play your best golf without compensations, to hit the ball further and not play in pain. So if you did not pass one of those tests, it's okay. Most people, when they do this test for the first or second time, they're not passing 2 or 3 or sometimes all 4 of these tests, okay? Best thing for you to do, your best path forward, is to start with the Rotary Mobility playlist. Start there and work through the first 4 videos, working on neck, shoulders, hips, spine, whatever area you did not pass, you need to start working on your mobility each and every day. So if you failed shoulder and hip, but you passed the other two, work on your shoulder and hip. Do one every day. If you didn't pass your T-spine and your hips, work on T-spine and hips. So start doing some mobility work every day, and you're going to see great improvements in those rotary centers. And I would retest maybe in 2 to 3 weeks, and you'll definitely see big improvements.